I get pull up my chat.
I pushed the button and we're live.
We're live. I'm not ready.
Woohoo! Jazz hands.
Jazz hands with the fingers.
Oh, hey, we have people. We got AJ and Kilko and Donald and all kinds of folks. Woohoo!
All the cool party people.
Exactly.
Hell
so,
yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome in, everybody. It's been a while. Here we are, still alive. Well, you've seen me. I mean, I'm around. But welcome on in. We are talking Kentucky bourbon and Derby tonight. I don't know much about Derby stuff. And Sam's coming in. She's running a little late.
Yeah.
You know, she lives in the Derby capital. So she'd probably give us more information. But I'm all for talking Kentucky bourbon.
Oh, yeah, me too. I was surprised. Like, I don't make a point of, checking where my whiskeys are coming from necessarily. So when I started, I'm like, well, do I even have any actual Kentucky bourbon? I'm like, oh, hey, I do.
Just on the shelves, like, oh, this is Kentucky bourbon. Oh, this one too.
And then I thought I pulled a bunch of them out, and then I'm like, oh, hey, I have Booker's. Booker's is from Kentucky, so then I'm good. Yep. Okay,
there you go.
Good. I'm good on that.
I'm going to start with some Old Forester.
Ooh, nice.
Starting with the 100. I've got 3 expressions over here. It's a favorite in our house. I mean, it's a pretty much a staple, I think, for a lot of people. I'm starting with the 100 just because it's Sunday and I haven't drank today, so let's go ahead and start a little bit lower, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I have some lower stuff over here, but who wants to do that?
And
Coming out
I'm
strong.
Starting with my Michter's American.
Wish I would have known.
Is always it always surprises me because I go into it expecting it to be like, I don't know. I know it's so great. It's got so many great flavors and it's easy, but it's not soft. It's got a nice crisp edge on it. And it always surprises me when I look at the bottle and go, oh yeah, this is less than 42%.
You know what?
It's insane how good it is for.
I'm gonna pour some. I'm gonna set that Old Forester aside. And I'm gonna pour some of this with you.
Yeah. That's the only reason I'm starting with it is because it's the lowest proof one that I have on my table tonight. So I'm like, well, I should start low, I guess, and build.
You know, it's always been a favorite in our house, and it's unfortunate that it's sometimes hard to find around here. They don't last on the shelves very long.
Good.
Surprisingly, I have not had much of Michter's bourbon. I've had their rye a lot more, which is weird because I hate rye.
Yeah.
I favor it because it's a very sweet, I say bourbony tasting rye. Yeah, Ed tricked me with that one. I think it's one he poured, and I was like, oh, this is delicious. And he's like, it's rye. Suck it.
I gotcha.
Gotcha.
Oh, hey, Stan, the Mesh Bell's in here.
Mm-hmm.
Kilko, if you have some Jessica Rabbit lipstick, I'm going to need a picture of that. Okay? Bring it on.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Erica, what are you starting with? I saw you pouring something, but I don't know what.
Yes. So I'm actually starting the night with a mint julep, a famous cocktail of the Kentucky Derby. I was telling Teresa before we logged on, I could not find fresh mint leaves at the grocery store. So I had to try to make my own mint simple syrup. And then I was like, wait, Erica, you idiot. That's just mint tea. So I made very sweet mint tea, poured that in, crushed ice, and I mixed that with 4 roses to start the night off with.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Hey, and good workaround. Good workaround on that. I mean,
I tried.
How's it taste versus like if you were to actually have real mint?
It's still pretty good, but I'm like, I wish you were mintier, and that's what the fresh mint leaves would provide.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's still cold out here. I don't think we'll see mint leaves until I see the sun, which who knows when that will be.
It's hit or miss, really. You can come down here. It's going to be 80s next week.
Tell me what that's like. Just describe it, and I think I'll absorb the sun through hearing about it.
Hell. It's going to be hell because I hate it. I'll tell you right now, it's just a slow incline to the hundreds, which I really hate.
That's
Really.
very fair.
So I'm living in the wrong state. Never had a mint julep before, but that'll change this Saturday. They're actually not too bad, and I'm not a huge mixed drink fan. But when we made them, when we had Cocktail Contessa on,
Heather, yes.
yes, I enjoyed it. It was very good.
Yeah. I think they work especially well for like the Derby because they're a good like summertime drink. Like they're very light, crisp, and refreshing. Like you can
Yes,
knock a couple back.
yes.
They
This might
just
get you into
sound
trouble
like
at the Derby.
spring. They sound like springtime in a glass. Like
It really does.
Yeah. It's very pleasant.
I was saying to went out last weekend because we've been going like really, really nice days and then snow and then really, really nice days and then snow. But last weekend it was a really, really nice day. So my roomie and I went to the local nursery and we picked up some plants and they're sitting in the kitchen until it's safe, which will be sometime after the May long weekend. But I bought mint plants because I want table mint. I want to be able to have mint for cocktails all summer. And I probably should have brought some downstairs with me, but I didn't. I had a nap instead.
AJ Lopez lives out in West Texas, and it was 95 out there today. So there you go, Erica. Move to West Texas.
See, I say things like this, like I complain about being cold, and then the minute it's too hot, I'm like, ugh, kill me. Also, the bugs come out then, and I hate them.
Yeah. Go move down a little, I guess, maybe in the middle of
what's a fine line?
So what's everybody drinking in the chat? I saw somebody was drinking some Woodford, which, that is what, the Derby whiskey.
Yeah, that's what
I don't have any.
Saying.
I don't have any. They always do a special Derby bottle every year. That I've seen.
Right.
They're kind
that
of
would make sense.
No, they're bottle or store pick. I mean, yeah.
Erica's got the Woodford. I enjoy some Woodford. I really enjoy their wheat. I don't know if you've had it, but their wheat whiskey is really good. Let's see.
Hi, Steve.
Steve A is here because he was giving me shit about not having a live stream for a while for us ladies, and he knows I'd probably yell at him if he wasn't in the chat.
Well, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I almost went out and bought myself a Woodford specifically for tonight. It's been a while. Like I've had it a couple of times, and the one I had the Woodford Double Oak and had it at a tasting like 2 years ago, and then at Christmas, my dad sends me a message, and he lives in North Carolina, so he sent me a message like, "Hey, my boss got me this bottle of bourbon. Do you know anything about it? And how would you recommend drinking it?" And so I was like, "Well, what is it?" And he's like, "Oh, it's Woodford Double Oak." I'm like, I think I've had that. So I go back and I'm looking through my Instagram until I find it, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, I have notes on it." Okay.
I actually
just drink it straight. It's so full, and it's got these coffee and chocolate notes, and
I enjoy the Double Oak of the Woodford so much more than just the straight, expression, their base expression.
I was like that close to going and buying it for tonight just because new whiskey.
Well, I mean,
it's hard for me to borrow my
any reason to buy
bottle,
new whiskey.
So. Exactly.
Any reason.
Because, when has need
I
had anything to do with it?
I wouldn't be able to do that because Texas, and it's Sunday. Yeah, you don't want to come down to Texas.
Maybe just occasional visits.
Yes, definitely come visit. That would be fun. But you don't want to move here.
I've never had the Woodford Double Oak. How would you are there any special notes you pick up on that one in comparison to the base spirit? I know, Sarah, you were saying you like the Double Oak a lot more.
It's just a lot richer to me, and it's a little bit oakier. And the base expression to me is kind of thin. and it needs more, and that double oak gives it more for me.
I think I might have a mini of the standard Woodford, where I had one at some point upstairs. And it's even in like the Woodford bottle shape, like that upside down, horseshoe
Yep.
shape, with the rounded top. But I would say, like, for me, I get like these nice rich coffee and dark chocolate, and yet far more saturated, and great wood notes without being
Too woody.
or like it's not over oaked in any way. It's just or tannic. It's just lovely. A really good steak whiskey. So if you're eating grilled steak, it would be so good next to especially if you have like a dark coffee rub or something that you could throw on it, or
I'll keep that in mind in case I ever come across the double oak.
Steve A is asking about your mic, Teresa. Is it running through your computer or earbuds?
Computer. I got my Snowball. It's like laser focused there because it's on. Yeah.
That's a fun looking sci-fi looking contraption.
Yeah. Like it's all my Borg eye.
I'm guessing
the earbuds are just to keep the echoey because I'm in a basement.
Gotcha. I'm guessing the sound is a little bit low on his end.
It could be. It
William,
sits over to the side a little bit rather than right in front of me.
Yeah, William said she does sound a bit soft.
Yeah. I don't know. I could try putting it back in front of me. It was not, when I did the testing, it didn't seem to want to test very well. Maybe will it sit there like that? Maybe it'll sit there like that.
Maybe you need to talk louder.
I can do that too. I mean, if you really want me to get loud, I'll add more whiskey.
Tell us how much you love Kentucky bourbon.
Actually, so
I love
I have my derby hat, but
hold that.
That's one of the things you can't you gotta hold on.
I'm moving on to that Old Forester that I had poured. It's been sitting here for a minute.
I might join you with some Old Forester. I'm going to set my cocktail to the side.
They're saying that's better.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Whatever
I'll try
whatever you did.
I put it in front of me instead of to the side. So hopefully that. I'm used to doing everything with on Zoom these days, and the Zoom chats, it works not too bad off to the side. It seems to have a better integration or something. I don't know. Or maybe people just don't say anything. I don't know. I tend to, maybe I talk louder during club meetings. I don't know.
Maybe.
All right. I'm going to move on to actually not even a Kentucky one. This is a not just a Canadian whiskey, but it is a local produced one, Alberta Premium from Alberta Distillers. And this was actually, the reason why I pulled it out is, you may have noticed, name is Dark Horse. And this was actually created in honor of a local racehorse, Majestic Prince, who went on to actually win the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness in 1969. So I figured it was appropriate.
Very appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good story.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fairly simple. It's a simple blend. But and in the U.S. it was released under the Dark Batch because Dark Horse was a registered trademark or something down south. But it's also it's since been discontinued. If you want a similar drinking experience, the Basil Hayden Dark Rye, I think, is the one. There's one where it's got the sherry added to it, to the blend. So it's basically, it's the same kind of idea. This is 2 ryes, a Canadian rye, a Kentucky rye, a Kentucky bourbon, and sherry all in a bottle.
What you got there? That looks like a store pick?
It is. And I probably should have waited to pour this because now I'm looking at the alcohol by volume. It is an Old Forester. It is a barrel pick from Ed's store again. It is, we'll hold it up. Very beautiful blue. It's not going to focus, but it is 65% alcohol by volume. So we'll see where this night
Nice.
goes.
Very
barrel
nice.
strength.
Cranking it up a notch.
Yeah,
We
that
got
smells
Ed.
like alcohol.
We got Ed in the house, up in here watching. Welcome in, Ed. It's nice to see you, sir.
Hello, Ed.
Hope you are behaving.
He's other rooms over. Who knows what he's getting up to?
Yeah, mine's out in the garage. He came in for some whiskey.
I think the
And then he
last
left.
time we got all together, wasn't Ed like chiming in from work? So he was watching without
Yes.
actually having the sound on. Just
Yes.
commenting.
He was just commenting without
Commenting.
sound. And that was really kind of funny. Ed, turn the sound off and just make some random comments.
Do your Ed thing.
Do your Ed thing. Yes. Love it.
This does not taste like 65%, which is terrifying.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, I smell the alcohol, but when I taste it, I surprisingly don't get much of a burn. It's primarily,
You know, I get that on a lot of Old Foresters in general. Like it's very strong on the nose, but once you drink that, it just goes right down, and that's it, man. Maybe that's one reason why I like Old Forester so much, because it's such an easy drink
yeah.
and it gets up in the high proof.
But again, dangerous. Yeah, I'm just getting like a very nutty thing, which I enjoy, but I'm like, you're 65%. You're lying to me. I know I read it and you told me up front, but you're
And then
lying.
a couple drinks in, you're like, oh, okay, you're 65%.
I
I'll get you now.
Like
get
that.
it.
And
Ah, I'm feeling good. Well,
the
I
Alberta
started,
Premium is like that. The
I
cast
started with
strength
the
one.
100. I'll join you up there a little bit. Mine's not as high.
Yeah.
I got the 1920 here.
Ooh.
It's a staple in our house too. We always have a bottle of this for some reason. Never goes out. This is 115 proof. So working our way up there.
Again, one of those ones that's going to be deceptively tasty.
Exactly. Welcome on in, Abby Winkins.
Who winks?
First time in. Thanks for coming in. I've seen a couple ladies in here from our Facebook group that we're part of. At least Teresa and I are part of. I need to get Erica in there. It is Women's Only Whiskey Facebook group.
Ooh.
If a mod can drop a link, that would be awesome. Women's only, so don't even try it, guys. We know who you are. And we just talk. We talk whiskey. We share whiskey. There's a lot of noobs in there. And we like helping each other out, just like talking whiskey.
That's fun.
I don't know if that link will work for anybody, but I think I tried putting it in there.
It's really fun to do when there's no guys around, because you know how guys can be sometimes.
They can ruin things.
I don't know.
Huh?
They can ruin things.
Up there.
They can.
Yeah.
Well, it's not so much that they ruin things. It's different though. There's one of my local stores, and up until last year, actually the very last festival that the store did, because they do all these little micro festivals in the store for like 40 to 50 people. The last one that they did was the women's only, or the lassies only whiskey festival. And it's just a different vibe in the room. And when I go and I talk to the gals who come out to all of the other ones and ask them and talk to them about their experience when it's just the women. And I mean, there are guys who are standing behind the table sometimes, but they said, yeah, it's just, they don't hate it when the guys are there, but it is a different vibe when it's all women. Sometimes
women don't feel as comfortable being able to speak their mind about the whiskey, or how they feel about the whiskey, or what they're getting off the whiskey when there's guys around, because it's always been, and it still is in a way, but it's starting to break free more, but it's always been considered a man's drink.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that ain't the same. No, It's not like that anymore, folks.
Yeah.
So it's a great place for women who may not feel comfortable in a group of guys talking about whiskey.
I agree.
So-
Yeah. And I think especially what you said, where like it's always been considered such a man's thing. Like I think there's also a thing where sometimes, if a woman's like, oh, I pick up these notes, like a man will be like, oh, I get this. And for some reason they think it's like, oh, you dumb lady, you don't know what you're talking about. But it's just like, no, there's room for nuance. Like I think there's also been like studies about like the way that men like drink or like sniff whiskeys can be different, I guess. Like I guess women tend to prefer more open glasses because they can pick up things more slowly, versus like men tend to prefer Glencairns. I don't know if it's a system thing, but it is apparently a thing. And I have noticed like between me and Ed, like I prefer to drink things straight out of rocks glasses. Like I can better pick up notes there as opposed to out of a Glencairn.
Right.
No.
Right. I can get that. William often uses a glass that it's actually giant, and it's kind of cool. You can see
Oh,
how it's got like a mountain feel to it.
Yeah.
I like that.
He drinks out of this more often than he drinks out of a Glencairn when it's just him sitting here drinking at home, and where I'm more prone to the Glencairn because I can get more out of it.
No.
But each their own on that.
No.
But
Where do you find something like that with like the mountain curvature?
this is actually a brand. Liton, Liiton.
Okay.
They sent them to us to review.
Oh.
Okay.
And we did a review video on them, but you can find them on Amazon. It's a solid glass, man.
Okay.
I mean, if you're at like a party and someone pisses you off and you have this glass, it's solid, okay?
That is not where I thought you were going on that, but I like number
it's-
one, weapon. Number two, drinking.
Right? I mean, I'm a woman. I gotta look
in
out for
the
myself.
words of Rex, like when you watch Whiskey Vault and Tribe and Rex is talking, he picks up certain corks. He's like, "This is a dog killing cork." He points everything to, if you put it in a slingshot and you shot it at something, could you kill it? And I'm like, that's such a boy thing to say.
You know what? I'm a boy mom, so I look at things like that. But
defense.
Erica, the only thing that I didn't like about it is that I have small hands. And so if I was holding this for a long period of time, my hand would probably get tired. And I mean, my hand barely goes halfway around the glass. So it's a little bit bigger than your normal rocks glass that you would get, but it's a good little glass. So
That does look hefty.
yeah, he likes it.
There's a company somewhere in Alberta here that's doing ones that are different mountain ranges within the Rockies, which are like our next door, like right in our backyard. So I keep looking at them going, ooh, do I need more rocks glasses?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I have a
Glassware.
drawer.
Handy.
I have a whole drawer of glasses, and the sad part is we hardly use them. It's like we got to go through and be like, okay, which ones can we set aside for like it just in case, and which ones do we leave out, and which ones can we just get rid of? But and I say that as I just got a box from Amazon of 6 Glencairns.
Steve A is saying he got in on the Kickstarter. I'll let you know when they show up, but I'm not sure which. If those are a special one, I don't know which ones those are because I missed part of the chat. But
I think
I'm all for being told about cool news.
I think he's talking about the glasses.
Yeah, well, but
I
I'm
think-
not sure what glasses. So
The ones that if I'm correct, he's talking about the same brand that I
The ones-
have here. They have other ones that you can get. Yeah, it's for a single mountain. Yeah, they different designs in them and stuff. So
nice. I'm moving on to my trying not to get glare from my ring light. Angel's Envy.
damn it, I think I had some of that up there.
And
Bad.
I'm out.
I'm.
But that is a solid pick.
There's a
is.
new glass design coming from Lilton. That's the Everest with the mountain in the
Yeah.
middle instead of the canyon.
Oh.
He already has a canyon and he loves them. So that could be interesting because I've got Peugeot ones. I've got Peugeot tasting glasses. Well, not Peugeot brand, but they're the style where it's got this divot in the center and it pushes the whiskey to the outside, similar to how the Glencairn has the bulb, so it collects everything in funnels. Well, this has this added little divot in the center, which pushes the liquid to the outside so the vapors can escape out, and then it lets the aromas collect so that you can go in. So that would be cool with the mountain in the middle. I like that idea.
The science of whiskey can be so interesting.
Oh, you know what? And the nosing and everything. I don't know. I'm just gonna geek out. But yeah, on to my Angel's Envy, which I've had for a couple of years. I picked this up when I was down south of the border in Texas. I think from my first trip to Texas, actually. And it's always been one that, I mean, it's nice, but it's never really been a wow experience. But I love the bottle shape and styling. I like the concept. I love their Toast the Trees campaign that they do every year, which is about sustainability and revitalization of forestry, because the bourbon industry requires virgin oak.
We need the forests.
Yes, you need the forest. So I love the fact that they are have an eye for that sort of thing and have been working at it for a few years now. So I think it's every fall. I want to say it's like September or October. I can't remember exactly when Toast the Trees is, but
I'm gonna have to look that up.
But you Google it.
That's definitely something I will support, because if the forests go away, where are we gonna put our new make?
Yeah, I think it's something like for every hashtag and share with the hashtag Toast the Trees during that month, they plant a certain number of seedlings that year. So
that's awesome.
Very cool. In terms of a brand and how they are more than just what they produce, they're also kind of with an eye to the whole process. So,
I love that.
AE. And it's just become available in Alberta too. And I think it might have sold out because it's the first time ever that Angel's Envy came to Canada. So and we got it first.
I do really like the Angels. I wish I would have remembered that it's unfortunate. It's hidden up in the top because there's not very much left. And again, it's one of those that's hit or miss on finding it around here. But the bottle looks just like some of Iron Root's bottles. And so it kind of blends in back there.
It's hiding behind the Texas whiskey.
Yeah.
You need a whiskey assistant who can go and get those things for you.
Huh?
You need a whiskey assistant.
I do. He's in the garage. No.
Yeah, you need to chime.
Service me some.
Service me some.
Actually, that's what happens. That's what plays when I call him. Do you remember that from the tribe?
Oh yes, that's a callback that haven't heard that in a while. Holy crap!
I anytime I want to hear it, I just have to call him. So, what are you guys moving on to? What do you got over there?
I am breaking out Blood Oath Pact 7.
Shut your face.
It's shut. Now it's open again. But yeah, I'm excited to try this one because I've only had the neck pour so far.
So yeah, I've been happy with all the other Blood Oaths that I've tried. Yeah. They're good.
Yeah, so for those of you who might not know, this one is finished in Sauternes barrels. So
nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like. There are some really cool things happening with whiskey finishes, and I keep finding more and more with the Sauternes. I attended one of my clubs did a tasting with the Canadian brand ambassador for Glenmorangie.
Nice.
Yes, Bry Simpson, and he was did the whole thing, and I guess they were one of the first, if not the first, to start using Sauternes, and that's the Nectar D'Or, if I'm remembering correctly, because that one's one of my favorites. But I have had a couple of other Sauternes finishes, and they're always really, really good. Aaron, I think, has one as well
Stop
that
it.
was delicious.
Stop it.
I don't think I've ever had a bourbon finish in Sauternes. I think all the other expressions of like Sauternes casks I've had have been
Vodkas.
Scotch primarily.
Right.
So this will be an interesting fusion, like to separate out the smoke and just see what stands out more.
Mm-hmm.
I am pouring some Weller 107.
Sick.
And it is one of the older bottles because it's got a screw top. They moved over to corks, if I'm correct in that. But this has always been, Weller. It's just a classic staple when you get the basic Weller. It's great for mixed drinks. It's great for just sipping. It's kind of a background whiskey, but the 107 knocks it up a notch for me. With obviously the proof versus the basic Weller, but it's just so much deeper. It's got a lot more going on in the glass than the general Weller. And I'm kind of milking that bottle a little bit because they kind of jacked their prices up. A lot. So it's a good pour. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't have any Wild Turkey.
No?
I know.
I've
Nope.
got 101 and I've got Long Branch.
We had Long Branch, but somebody finished it.
Mhm.
Somebody. Not
You're
naming
not gonna
any
mention
names.
me.
Who could it be?
Gee, I wonder.
Was it one of those cats? I know they've
It
been
was-
sniffing around.
Mm-hmm. It was, what they do when we're sleeping. I don't know, but magically it was gone.
I've had Long Branch, and I don't know. So I remember Ed picked up a bunch of Wild Turkey
remember
products
watching-
during Thanksgiving. What were you laughing at? I'm sorry.
I remember watching your. Sorry, I'll let you tell the story.
No,
but I remember it.
All I was gonna say is just I remember the Long Branch falling so flat, and it was so it's been sitting here, and I don't think we've touched it since Thanksgiving.
It's kind of a background whiskey.
Yeah.
Because it's such a low proof versus the other things that you drink. It's not bad at all, but it is very much to me a background whiskey.
Yeah.
Well,
If I'm gonna go
I'm
with-
laughing because I watched the episode and there was a disclaimer at the beginning from Ed. And you're like, no, I don't really like this. And then he told you, oh, it's the Matthew McConaughey one. You're like, yeah, I kind of hate this even more now.
That does sound like me. Yeah. I just really don't like that guy.
It's been a while since I've poured mine, so it is definitely a sweeter
Ow.
addition from Wild Turkey.
Mhm.
It really is.
But which is maybe why it appeals to my Canadian sensibilities, because sometimes I just really like the sweet stuff. But
yeah, I think that my issue with that one is like the sweet I get out of it is just like sugar cane versus like, okay, so I'm drinking the Sauternes cask and it's like that white winey sweet, which is what I really enjoy, or like baking spices sweet, where it's like it's a kick sweet as opposed to just like, here's Matthew McConaughey.
You think it's more along the artificially sweetened vibe?
Yeah.
I could get that.
Yeah.
Okay, get out of my face.
yeah, actually, coming off of the Angel's Envy, I'm getting almost more of a tannic essence to that Long Branch. I don't know if it's just the way that I've been drinking in the lineup tonight. I'm not getting
Possibly.
as much of the sweetness, but I am definitely getting that mesquite wood note in there. Yeah.
I did forget it was mesquite smoked. I think that was my other issue. Was like, I wish there was more like punch to it. Like, I get it's 43%, but like with mesquite smoked, I kind of want fight my taste buds a little, you know?
A little bit
a little-
more smoky
Yeah.
to it. Yeah, I can get behind that. again, to me, that one, it's very much a background whiskey. Tip it back.
Jeez, I love it every time.
I
When
know,
you
I gotta,
have-
like, it's gonna, like, one of these times I'm just gonna forget and it's
Yeah,
gonna go
it's gonna
all
go
the
flying.
way, and
Do it.
I love it. It looks very
Um,
glamorous, though. It's very pose worthy. It's
It
just
really is. And next time, make sure you put your pinky out when you hold hats and pinky out. Okay? 'Cause that's the only way to fly.
right.
We're ladies here, guys. Come on, we're ladies.
Exactly.
yes.
All right, I'm going to
Pinkies
start
out.
getting into some of my heavier hitters, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do 101 for my next or 1792 Bottle and Bond. Yeah.
Tonks.
I feel like the obvious transition is the Wild Turkey and then 1792, since you just came off a Long Branch.
That's true.
No.
I'm going to have to. open
And then
up
maybe
my-
I'll pull up my 1792 also.
All right. Well, I'll do a little. I only did a quick little pour of that Long Branch, so I'll do maybe a. This is one, and I know everybody always says it too. I hear it from a lot of folks. The Wild Turkey 101. It punches so far above its weight class in terms of cost benefit analysis.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
really.
That is a perfect way to describe it. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can get this on sale for probably in that 35 Canadian range, which for me, I don't know how that translates exactly to some of the US pricing out there. I know it maybe sounds high, but for us, $35 for a solid bourbon, especially one at 101. That's insane. I think it regularly sells for about 40-ish. There were some tariffs that went up a couple of years ago after I bought my bottle.
No.
So I think it probably runs closer to 40 or 45 now, but that's still like so much flavor, so much everything.
It runs
Yeah,
about
that's a lot.
$26.99 here for a liter.
Okay.
So
Yeah, pretty much the same here. And
And
it's one of those
yeah.
ones where it's like you can find it. I don't know if it's the same in Canada, but it's like it's affordable and it's like accessible. It's not one of those
It's-
ones where like
it's
people are snatching up all the bottles.
right. It's constantly accessible, and you would be. I'm kind of surprised that it's not being grabbed more.
Yeah.
That there's still a whole lot available when you go into the store. It's always there.
Yeah.
At least here it is. It's always there. But it's always been one of those, somebody's going to get it in our age range and they're going to actually sip it, or the college age range and they're going to shoot it. And that's the two extremes that I get from it. There's not a whole lot of in between with it to me, but I mean, I like it for the price.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It's you
Yeah.
get the bang for your buck.
you can't
And
go
some.
wrong with the proof, the price, and it's not just a dull whiskey, you know. It's not just a bottom shelf like a lot of people think.
Yeah.
No, I mean the
It's
price
deceptive
is,
that way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's because everybody thinks, oh, that's just a shooter whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, like, I guess I still consider myself fairly new to the total whiskey experience. Like, I've always kind of gravitated to whiskey and spirits because I don't like beer and I tolerate wine. And so for me, when I see a name like Wild Turkey, I just kind of like giggle. And every time I hear people talking about Pappy, I'm like, oh my goodness, that sounds like the cheapest swill out there. Like, really, Pappy? Like, what kind of a name is Pappy?
You're asking the right
I've never
question.
had Pappy, so I don't know if it's. I've signed up for a tasting locally, and it'll be in June. I'm actually going to be able to try my first Pappy ever. I'm looking forward to it just because I want to confirm that I don't like it.
I got some poor man's Pappy right here.
Which one's that?
What's that?
It's poor man's Pappy. It's a mixture of the Weller 12 and the 107.
Oh,
I have never heard that before. That is fun.
Yeah, it's 60-40, but I forget which one chat that fill me in there. I believe it's 60-40. I think it's 12 at the 60. I'm not sure. Somebody in the chat will. But yeah, we actually did some videos. One of our followers on the Whiskey Crusaders channel was actually making it, and we would get a new sample each week for 4 weeks. And we would review it every week to see how it's changed. Yeah, 60-40, but which one's the 60 and which one's the 40, babe? Thanks for confirming what I said. Come on now.
Loving the sass. Will we get the help?
I was right. Yeah.
Okay.
Weller 12 is 60. 107 is 40.
Okay.
And what
And I guess my thing is
I just want to freeze frame Sarah's face.
all he wrote was 107.
I was like, what help are you giving me right now?
He said 60-40, and then AJ answered my question. Thank you, AJ. And then William just said 107. I said 12 and 107. So I'm gonna pour a little bit of this poor man's pappy. This was from week 3, it looks like, but now it would all be the same because it's been sitting there for a while.
Right.
But we tasted through the marrying process of the 4 weeks time span for it. So yeah, you're no help, babe. Thanks.
I love that he's just out here in the house somewhere, knowing you are exasperated with the lack of help.
He's in the garage.
he won't come and get you, Angel's envy, and he's only giving you halfway information, right?
Just partial answers.
Yeah. We could go back to Ed's comments about, I don't know, he was doing something topless or something earlier, or maybe that was somebody else that was talking. I don't know.
Yeah. Hashtag helpful husband. Thanks, Kilco. That's exactly what he is. Very,
I
very
think
helpful.
my big thing with the whole Pappy thing is, like, I'm not generally a fan of wheated bourbons. There's only 1 or 2 that I actually really, really love. And
What are they?
Wyoming.
Oh, Wyoming is wonderful.
Wyoming is amazing. It is different. It doesn't taste flat. It doesn't.
You know why, right?
Nancy Fraley.
Yeah. Nancy.
Like,
She's
duh.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
I do everything topless, even wear shirts topless. That's your problem,
right? Like,
Yeah,
See,
I'll leave this room and just go out. I'm sure he's going to be topless when I leave.
I don't have that problem around here. The boys in the house like to wear their shirts. Speaking of shirts, I love yours, Erica.
Thank you. Yes.
what is this?
It is a horse.
You're little Sebastian.
I met little Sebastian.
Yes. At the
I love little Sebastian.
Funny.
Now I got the song playing in my head. Thank you.
It's very catchy. Yeah, I didn't have a fancy derby hat, so I was like, okay, I have a horse shirt from a fictional mini horse.
I don't even have that.
I rewatched Parks and Recreation for like the 4th or 5th dozenth time because it's on Netflix now up here. And I watched through, I could just watch it all the time. And I cry every single time during Bye Bye Little Sebastian. And I cry every time through the Johnny Karate Awesome Explosion whatever show episode in season, the last one. Like, I love that show.
It is.
Do you want to know my favorite part of that show?
What is it?
Part of that show is the episode where Andy tries to hammer in the wall and it hits it and it comes back and it hits himself and he goes falling. Do you want to know how many times I played that over and over again the first time we saw that episode? Like 10. Yeah.
At least.
Favorite. Yeah, we have the box set of that. It's one of the very few box set DVDs that we actually own and it had to happen because
It's a great, yeah.
It's so good. The episode when they go to England and Ron Swanson
Mhm.
goes on his little, I don't know where she's sending me tour,
Yep,
and he
the
ends up at
Lagavulin.
Lagavulin, and then he's sitting on the cliffs drinking Lagavulin and reading Robbie Burns, and
Yep.
it's emotional. Yeah,
Aww.
it is. Like I just that show is just, it's awesome, and anybody who hasn't seen it or who doesn't like it, you can just leave now.
We
strikes
don't need
the
that
right sort of,
negativity
like,
in our lives.
humor
Thank you
part.
very
That
much.
negativity, like, okay, Pinky's out.
Pinky's out.
Pinky's
Bitches.
out.
What am I pouring next?
Yeah, I'm almost done with this little poor man's pappy here, which is actually pretty good. I've been sitting here for a while.
I think
Um,
I'm gonna go for this one, my 1792.
nice.
After I'm almost done my 101.
I'm living
Adriana,
under
you haven't seen?
Elijah Craig.
I was gonna grab my roommates, and then I didn't.
Adriana, are you
This is
saying that you have not seen Parks and Rec? Because if
Go
you are,
on.
we've got to change that. It's give it a couple episodes. It starts slow. I won't lie, but it is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The first
it is-
season is like the slow part, and it's only like 6 episodes, I think, the first season, and then season
Right.
2, it's
That's when they're
Yeah.
just getting their gel on.
yeah.
It
What are
still
you coming
sets the
for?
tone for the whole show, but it's Whiskey Mountains. I
Nope.
don't know who you are, but you need to fix that. So that
That
you are
is
no longer a
Adriana.
bad person.
Whiskey Mountains is Adriana. She has her own channel. She is in Utah and has got some gorgeous scenery, and she goes hiking and drinks some whiskey in the gorgeous.
Oh, that sounds
scenery.
Like good
delightful.
things.
Join
She
her.
sounds like a good person.
She's
should
good
watch-
peeps. She's in the Women of Whiskey group.
Okay. Then she needs to watch Parks and Recreation so that
She
she's
really
no
does.
longer a terrible person.
She really does. She is actually going to be joining us over on Whiskey Crusaders tomorrow. And-
Ah,
They're going to be drinking some peated shit, and I'm going to be drinking whatever the fuck I want. Not peated.
So tune in.
So tune in if you want to see that. But yeah, if Ahmad can drop Adriana's Whiskey Mountain YouTube channel, check her out. She's good peeps.
Yes. I love whiskey and mountains. So
see, I drink whiskey and I live near the mountains. I put the things together sometimes. It works.
Ron Swanson, a character in Parks and Rec, also loves whiskey and mountains. So
Yes.
watch Parks and Rec.
Yes.
I remember very early on in me and Ed's relationship, I just sat him down one day and was like, we're watching this now. This is a thing we're doing together.
William's telling me I need to move the door back here because you can see the computer, but I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, no, I noticed that when we were getting all set up, but
Does anybody
Yeah.
give a fuck? I don't give a
that's
fuck.
better.
It doesn't hurt anyone. Yeah.
What are we, like high production and shit?
I mean, I'm looking at the same thing that you're looking at when you're watching the thing anyway. So
Okay.
yes,
I pulled out another barrel proof, but it's Elijah Craig barrel proof.
then you need to watch the show. Elijah Craig is wonderful. I don't have a barrel proof Elijah Craig, but I have a store pick. Just leave that out. I'll get to it. I
I'm
have
sure
a,
it is also great.
William's
Yeah.
over here hoarding the whiskey, pouring my Bookers.
Mm,
I'll drink some Elijah Craig with you, even though it's not as good as yours.
I'm sure you're
My-
getting a
my
store pick
roommate
is also
has-
delicious.
It actually is a very good store pick. They did a good job with it. I like it a lot. But, the proof, I like high proof things. So,
No.
you know,
What is the proof on that one?
94. Yeah,
Okay.
94.
Yeah, mine's 132.8.
Yeah, shut your face.
Yeah. I was like,
I'm
they
not
won't be
sure
that
I'm-
different. I was like, oh.
just a little bit.
Well,
My roommate has one, and I was gonna grab it, and then I'm like, maybe maybe I should ask first, and I didn't see her today, so.
No.
And it's not like
There's still.
I still have. I've gone through almost every single bottle that I pulled. I'm so excited. I still have my Knob Creek Rye, which is, actually, I guess in terms of ryes, it's only like 50. It's barely legal. It's 51 to 53% rye, and the rest is corn and stuff. So very drinkable and totally awesome. And I had this at the same tasting that I had that Woodford Double Oak, and
Nice.
this one won out. So I still have that one, and then I have my Booker's. I can't remember which batch it is, but it's sitting to the side, and that'll have to. We're getting close to almost an hour here, so I think I'm gonna have to finish off my 1792 pretty quick. And
Yeah, I haven't heard from Sam again.
no. She gave a thumbs up to the message on Insta,
Let's see.
and that was. Oh,
That was
Steve A's comment #high proof #high proof. I love that.
Amen, brother.
That was. I don't remember when we started the high proof whores hashtag, but it was a while ago, and I think it was on the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm not sure that we
I
started.
need a T-shirt because
I think we need to get a T-shirt made because it's true, and I mean, I'm a proud high proof whore.
Yes.
Very proud.
Cast strength in the words of our Sam the Psalm. But
Huh? What I missed?
No, Sam Nash. Sam Green.
Oh.
Sam Nash Green.
Yes.
Yeah. He started Team Cast Strength.
Yeah, but
So,
that's not high proof whores.
It's similar. we're adjacent. We're like, it's hashtag Team Cast Strength, and the high proof horrors works too. So if we get T-shirts, we got to send one to Sam because he has to wear.
Oh, totally.
So
Yeah.
whose job is that? Whose idea was it? Because whoever's idea it was, that's their job now.
to make T-shirts and
Make the
distribute them.
T-shirts. If somebody thinks that there should somebody whose idea was it for the T-shirts? Because I'll buy one, but somebody else has to make them.
Also how I feel. It's just I want a T-shirt.
I'll
even settle for like a bracelet.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. We have our T-shirt stuff for Whiskey Crusaders through whatever Teespring, I think. I'll put one up on there. I'll create a hashtag high proof whores one up there.
Announce when that drops. I'll definitely buy one.
Yeah, you got to send me the link. So.
Yeah,
definitely. I will let you know. I'll get on that this week and get that. Yeah. Maybe I'll actually.
I'm very excited for these shirts that don't.
I'll put it on a hat too. I think I'll put it on a hat.
Ooh.
I'll have my embroidery machine out there too. I could put it on everything. Yes, James, wear that T-shirt with pride. We will.
Oh, yeah.
The mash bill says we are called proofstitutes. I enjoy that wordplay.
That's what Hot Buttery Rolls calls them, proofstitutes.
Ah.
Yes, I can keep my pinky up if it becomes natural after a certain number of drinks.
I think I know what my closing drink is going to be. Since we're coming up on the hour, I'm going to pull it out.
On the hour. What are you pulling out?
A favorite. Well, it's variation on a favorite. Makers.
Nice.
A classic Kentucky bourbon.
Which one? Which take on the
This is this is the 2021 wood finishing series. So it's stave details, 10 virgin toasted American oak staves. It's 110.6 proof. I haven't had this one yet, surprisingly. I feel like Ed bought it and didn't tell me he bought it.
So if we're coming up on our last pour here, Teresa's drinking Booker's. I've got a choice between Booker's, Stag Junior, and George T. Stag. Which should I drink?
Ooh.
Booker's is the pigskin batch.
I've
I'm
got
personally leaning between. I'm leaning Stag.
The big boy?
Yeah.
Daddy Stag?
Daddy Stag.
Daddy Stag. I think I'm gonna double fist it for the end with
Ooh, that sounds like a plan
pours,
too.
because I really do want to get my Knob Creek going too. So I got a thing for the knob.
She's got to get her knob on.
I got to get my knob on. I'm single, so what I can get.
So Sam's having some technical difficulties with their setup tonight. So she was in some traffic. She said she's had a day, so she will definitely be in our next one. Let me get my Stag out.
Oh, for the people, it is. I'm drinking the FAE01, or however you pronounce it. Yes.
George T.
Heyo.
Stag, 116.9 proof. This is a bottle from a couple years ago. Because again, these things are basically with the Stag and the Stag Junior. It's like Matt calls us and is like, "Oh, hey, they have one at this liquor store. Go get it if you want it." And then it's a matter of, "Oh shit, go get that." So, yeah.
This smells like vanilla heaven. I'm upset. I didn't know it was in this apartment until now.
And now you know, and the bottle will no longer be on the shelf.
I'll hide it. Yeah.
I'm
I don't know
not
if he's still watching, but no, of course it'll be on the shelf.
empty.
Because I'm a loving and caring girlfriend who would never steal.
It's going to be empty on the shelf.
Yeah. I'm just going to replace it with like mint tea or something.
Colored butter.
Oh, dear.
Snapple peach tea.
I have Snapple. Perfect.
You know what? It's kind of the color.
Yeah. I'll just do like a drop in there plus Snapple tea. I'm like, no, there's totally makers in there.
Do what you will. That's a good boyfriend.
Oh, this smells so pretty.
You know what I love about
we don't touch the Stag very often because again, it's hit or miss again, and so you gotta kind of make them last. But I forgot how glorious this smelled.
I love how lineups change the taste of what you're drinking, because I'm getting a grassy note out of my Knob Creek that I have never ever had before. The Booker's is just everything that Booker's is supposed to be and is, and like I posted the other day, I kind of did a shit post in my story, tell me what your favorite Kentucky bourbon is and why is it Booker's. But like seriously though, my first Booker's experience, it was a wow. And I had a 1792 at the same time, and it cemented 1792 in my mind as being a solid drinker. And then I had the Booker's. I'm like, okay, I've died and gone to heaven. And I have never met a Booker's that I didn't like.
Me neither.
I wish I had gotten down to the US at a time when I could have bought a Teresa's batch, even though it's spelled wrong. And I heard it was not as compared to the other Bookers of its day, it was a little on the lackluster side compared to some of the others out there. But I was like, I'm going to have to buy a bottle of that just because of the name. Booker's is Booker's.
I
John
haven't
White.
met a Booker's that I haven't liked either. And we actually went to a Booker's night a couple weekends ago. And we tasted through the 2020 lineup. There was only 3 of them in 2020. Apparently what was supposed to be the third one, they weren't happy with. So they didn't release it when they were supposed to release it. And then the one that was supposed to be the 4th one got released as the 3rd one. But they released for a year, usually. But, there was a couple that were in that lineup last year that were just epic and just so good, just Booker's through and through. But there was one that was just like, meh, kind of the same like you're talking about the Teresa's batch back then, which I've had, and it's just not along the same profile, I guess, as what you would expect from Booker's. But I like Booker's. I like all the Booker's that I've had. They're good.
Did you see that guy? I know you saw that guy who posted in the tribe. A friend of his had been gifted a bottle years and years ago from 2002, and they never drank it, and so they gave it to him, and he's like, wow, like he appreciated it for what it was. But he's like, oh, he did kind of throw out the comment that, well, I wish it had maybe been aging for like another, for the last 20 years.
No,
like,
you don't want that.
You don't necessarily want that, especially in a bourbon, because it could get super oaky.
Way.
Yeah.
But then there's also there's this whole subgroup within the whiskey community. And they aren't the collectors exactly, who are the people who are, buying and saving things so that they can flip them at a profit. There are people who are buying up versions of things year to year and keeping them sealed for longer periods of time, because shit changes.
Right.
Yeah.
Recipes change, grains change, growing conditions. All of these things. So even though you have something in a bottle that's maybe, 5 to 6 years old, it's going to taste different and unique when compared to something of a similar age that is a modern bottling.
Yeah, that just came out.
And it's weird to think about 2000 as being like 20 years ago, but
it really is, because the 90s were like only yesterday. Come on, shut up.
I know. I just graduated from high school like a couple of years ago.
Seriously.
Yeah. The movie Shrek is 20 years old, and I almost had a heart attack.
Shut. No. That's just don't.
That hurts.
Yeah, I didn't like that. It was like, no, Shrek is 10 years at most.
Erica, we love you. Don't
say that kind of stuff.
I just needed somebody else to deal with the conception of time like I did.
Yeah, no. Like those kinds of things, like I don't know. Turning 42 this year didn't screw me up in any kind of way. Like I really don't care. Like, hand me a towel, my hoopy fruits, and we're gonna go. Those who know. If you don't, read a book. But like, being 42 doesn't bother me. Life, the universe, everything. Knowing that I have friends out there who have 18 and 20-year-old kids, that messes with my mind, because that was just a couple of years ago in my head, not a whole lifetime.
Same here. I'm going to be 39 this year, and I mean, I don't care about the number or whatever. I don't act like I'm 39. I still act like I'm 15 half the time. You laugh at fart jokes forever. That's just how it is. When you say something like Shrek's 20 years old, Erica, I'm going to have to tell you to shut your mouth.
No,
that hurts.
I'm letting you know I'm not happy about it either. I'm not happy Shrek is 20 years old, because I remember seeing Shrek in theaters. I'm like, no, it's not. I was like, oh, I was old enough to understand all the jokes in Shrek. I wasn't. They flew over my head when I saw it for the first time.
And then you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, Shrek. Yeah, I don't know how my mom let me see Shrek or Shrek 2.
Nope. But back to your bookers. There is what you were saying about people who collect them to taste the differences throughout the years and the changes and whatnot. I do love that aspect of that. And that particular bottle that he had, that was before they started having these fun names on them, like the pigskin batch and naming the batches. It was just batch whatever. And that's what it was. It was just a number of the batch that it was from 2002. Pit Face Barbecue. I've seen him in the chats before. Bad cat.
Did your cat knock something over?
Bad cat. He knocked the Tupperware thing over that has the bacon in it.
It's like, you're not feeding me.
Didn't
enough.
open. But he is a huge Booker's fan, and he has like the biggest collection of Bookers I've ever seen. And he likes to do that as far as going back and forth and tasting the differences. And thank you, good husband. Yeah. He has like all
making up for that 60-40 comment in the chat.
Seriously, he's trying to make up for it.
He still hasn't grabbed you the Angel's Envy though, so.
Yeah, he still hasn't grabbed the Angel's Envy.
We're just gonna see a hand slip in at someone.
Oh no, he wouldn't be able to. It's up here on this top shelf behind here. You'd have to get in the screen to get it.
It's okay. I mean, just because it's whiskey and lipstick, he just has to like dab a little on, and then he can be in camera. It's all good.
Like, let's go to Just go to my purse.
Like,
you got it. Actually, please don't. Not this stuff. It's not gonna come off very easily. It's that last forever shit. Yeah. And there's not a bit on my glass.
Very nice.
I love it. Yes. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So we're past the hour here. Kind of just been bullshitting. We didn't talk very much about the Derby, but you know what? There's not much to talk about the Derby because it hasn't happened yet.
We talked about drinking at the Derby.
Talked about drinking at the Derby.
And we talked about the 1969 one.
Talked about mint juleps.
Yes.
We talked a lot about Kentucky bourbon. So we've hit.
I mentioned a fictional horse.
Little Sebastian.
Like to say that he's a fictional horse, like that's almost a sacrilege because he's very real.
Steve A, going past an hour is not a bad thing.
Real in our hearts.
Horses go round and round.
Yeah. As long as people are enjoying what we're drinking, then I'm cool to keep. Let's make it an hour and 15 so that we have like.
Yeah, I mean, Teresa's got to work in the morning. I've got to work in the morning. Eric, I don't know.
I also work in the morning.
He works in the morning. So, I mean, we do have to work in the morning. I have a live stream tomorrow night as well. So, back to backs, yay. But this is something that we are going to try to do. Actually, we're not going to try. We are going to do.
Monthly. Last Sunday.
Last Sunday of the month, going forward, is going to be Whiskey and Lipstick. Live stream. Last Sunday. 8 p.m. Sam says she will be on next time. So look forward to that as well. And we're trying to get some other guests as well. Erica, I know you guys are kind of hit or miss on what you guys are doing and whatnot, but you can join anytime you want to join. You have a standing invite to come and join and drink with us.
Oh, thank you.
Just throwing that out there. We're talking about next month doing what is it up there?
Campfire. Best whiskeys to drink by the campfire. So
best whiskeys to drink by the campfire because in Canada,
it's May long weekend.
Long weekend.
Okay. I think May long weekend. I think our May long weekend actually comes to be the week before, but that's the unofficial camping season start.
There you go
in Canada.
And when you said campfire,
back me up on that. So
I heard vampire, and I was like, "What does that even mean?"
Yeah. vampire whiskey. We have apothic whiskey.
You know that blood oath you're drinking?
What whiskey tastes best with blood?
I can wear my hat again because it's kind of like Victorian.
There you go.
vampire-esque.
I love.
There you go. And we are trying to get
Ardbeg Day.
it's very close to Ardbeg Day as well. We are trying to get Miss Christina, the queen or the priestess.
Hi,
Princess of
Priestess
Pete.
Pete.
I don't know. I don't drink that shit, so I don't know what it's called.
I'm just gonna say drink Lefroy. That's all I've got to say. And
Ard-
Okay, yeah, you can come. You come on, and she's gonna be drinking Ardbeg, and you guys can battle it out.
I just don't know how to have a fight because, just drink Lefroy and it tastes like you're having a cigarette at the sea and Poseidon is like blowing a cigarette at your face. You're just smoking with Poseidon. Who doesn't want that? I don't know how to have a debate beyond that.
That's a very good explanation for why you want to drink it.
Yeah.
I don't drink it. I don't drink that stuff. There's plenty of Ardbeg in this house, and I don't drink it. So I'm gonna come up with my own favorite whiskeys to drink around a campfire.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we are
It
going
does
to try and talk Christina into coming on. She's a bit shy
I
sometimes.
think we're 90% of the way there because I think we got a thumbs up from her about, pre-Ardbeg Day drinking
Right.
in support of campfires. So yeah, last Sunday of May, all hail Ardbeg, Steve A. and Donald Rance, both, I think they're both Canadians. I think Steve A. is a Canadian guy, isn't
He is not.
Okay, I'm thinking of a different Steve. There's another Steve who is a Canadian.
Okay.
And
I was like, Wisconsin is basically Canada of
the South.
the United States. So yeah.
It's the
Hey,
Canada.
I am a cheesehead. I will eat cheese with the best of them. I have my Green Bay Packers jerseys, and there goes the hat.
That is not how I
It took me all fucking night, but there goes the hat.
It made it an hour and 12 minutes. Good job.
Woo!
And it didn't even fall off because you were drinking. So
No, it didn't. It was because I got animated about football.
I thought it was going to be the tilt, but it was.
Me
No,
too.
it was the football. So yeah, and cheese.
Steve A
Because
is in
cheese.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Why did I think you were Wisconsin based?
It's up there.
Yeah.
Oh, Minnesota. So that's a how I met my mother kind of thing. But I'm all there.
I'm actually
too.
rewatching that right now.
I should. Oh, there. I'm gonna instead of just the pinky, I'm throwing up some horns. So
Well, see, that's a Texas thing.
that's a rock and roll thing.
Well, I think it's more that than the horns. Like
I just did the wrestling thing when you did it.
No, the horns
There's
is
a
rock
lot.
and roll. This is seriously. This is Dio all day long. Not Spider-Man. Dio.
it's also Hook 'em Horns, if I
But-
remember correctly, which is a college down here. It's for a college
no.
down here. Yay, Texas!
Ronnie James Dio did it first.
Yes. I'm drinking this Booker's. This pigskin batch is fucking phenomenal.
Mm.
It's the third release of 2020. It's
Right.
excellent. I'm just saying.
So, yeah. So I mean, Sarah, we know that you have a live stream tomorrow because you have a live stream tomorrow.
Every Monday.
But on what channel? Because unlike Erica and I, you're not promoting yourself.
I'm not. I didn't change that. My bad. I'm on the Whiskey Crusaders. We are on tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Central. Again, we will have Adriana from Whiskey Mountains on. They will be talking peated whiskeys. I will be drinking something else.
And Lefroy will be an honorable mention. Maybe not by you, but by them. I'm just gonna put it up.
Maybe. I have no idea what Matt's sending. Half the time we don't know what Matt's sending until they get here and we try and read his handwriting. So that right there, I don't know. Until we get it, I don't know. And I don't know if he sent something down to Adriana or if we're just going off of what she has or what. I'm not sure. William's laughing. It's true. Steve just dropped our link for the Whiskey Crusaders. If you want to check us out, again, we are on every Monday night, 9 p.m. Central, and we drop a review every Tuesday and Thursday, and we do a liqueur review on Saturdays. So we are a busy little trio. Yeah, like I said, most of the time we don't know till he tells us what his chicken scratches say. Seriously.
I like that this is a known ongoing issue that he is apparently doing nothing to fix. Like no typed notes. He's just like, yeah, you'll get it.
Let me make my screen bigger here. See if I can focus in on this. Can you see that?
No. Well, I see.
I can.
Blue.
That's an E.
And
I can tell the first.
I see a cat. I see a cat. I see pussy. It's with lipstick.
Can you see how
we gotta
thick and
have the
scratchy
pussies in
that
there.
is?
Okay.
I
can tell the
something-
first letters. Is that
I have
E and R,
raw.
right?
I have raw. This is a Stargate reference.
Yeah, so that's what we have to deal with. I think that says explore something. I know
would
it's 40%.
Okay.
Matt is secretly a doctor.
I don't
He's
know.
a doctor.
I don't know what else it says. So that's what we deal with every Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So-
tomorrow night.
Apparently he sent stuff to Adriana. Hopefully it's arriving tomorrow. Fingers crossed. And he typed up a key because we've been on him about like just label them A, B, C, D, E, whatever, and then type up a key and print that out and send it to. I mean, how? Come on. I offered to buy him a label maker. He said he wouldn't use it.
Okay.
So we have
Eric-
hundreds. We have hundreds of sample bottles over there from
I think
the
it was
past
a
2 years.
tequila.
It might have been a tequila, but
That's what Will
everything looks like that.
Okay.
But we have hundreds of sample bottles over there that have labels that look like that. And after we do them, we put them aside and we're like, oh, we need to go back to this and taste it on a fresh palate. And then we're like, oh, I can't read the fucker.
What
And
am I drinking?
some of them you can tell pretty easily because after a little bit you get used to this chicken scratch, but some of them are just like, what are you trying to tell me? What is I don't know, dude.
All right.
I don't know. William's gotten to the point where he tries to relabel them as we're on a stream, as we're going through, because otherwise we don't know what we're going back to. But that's life. It's life as a whiskey crusader and anybody who gets some samples from Matt.
Okay. Good to know.
I think I can hear William laughing out in the garage.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think
I'm
heard
reading what he's writing, and that makes sense.
that. Yep.
And anyways, Erica,
Yes.
you're joining us again. It's been lovely having you. We love anybody who is willing to put on lipstick, because this is seriously like the only reason I have to put on lipstick these days.
Me too.
I forgot to put on some tonight, but next time I will.
Next time, it's kind of a prerequisite. It's in the name of the channel. So next
She
time.
didn't sign the original clause. We need to send that to her.
We should. She needs to get with the program here. Anyways, where can I know that y'all are on a bit of a hiatus in terms of live content and such, but
Watch our catalog. I feel like
yeah. And that Matthew McConaughey special.
Yeah, seriously, you guys. The The rock cut. I'm pouring some Stag because we're still just sitting here talking.
Okay.
This is the 15, I believe, batch 15, 131.1 proof. Just moving on up in that proof.
I'm just gonna pour a little splash more of my to get us
There you
through
go.
the next
There you go.
5
So,
minutes.
I know
Mixed all
that
my things into this mint julep I had.
I know that the Rocka is on hiatus right now, but seriously, guys, if you have not checked out any of their videos, go do it. They have some epic videos in their catalog. If you want to find out some fun information about ryes or scotches,
You want to see my boyfriend's
the
nipples?
Canadian whiskey
Canadian-
review that y'all, like how to drink Canadian whiskey that
the
y'all
how
did,
to drink episode
have to check it out.
are epic. I can hear William laughing. I just heard him cackle like a freaking girl from the garage out there. So yes, the how to drink episodes are just pure gold. You gotta watch them. Drop the link for the rock gut for those who may not have had a chance to check them out. Do it, please. Yeah, the advent calendars. Yes. And if you want to see Ed's nipples, guaranteed.
They're
Yeah.
everywhere all the time.
Yeah. They're not just for Erica.
Yeah.
Just saying. He's still laughing.
What's
Teresa,
extra funny, again, he has this most sensitive nipples, and he's always like, yeah, here they are on display for everyone.
sorry. It's gold.
We are a channel.
Yeah, definitely. Erica, I don't know what will be going on with you with the end of the month next month, but I hope you come back and join us. It's always fun hanging out with you.
Yeah, thank you again for inviting me. These are fun. I enjoy these.
Yeah.
And again, it's not anything, it's nothing against the guys because I think we have like 90% men in the chat right
Yeah.
You guys are great. We appreciate you guys being here.
Hey,
But
we love you all. However, there's something different about when you're just chatting with your girlfriends because we're going to talk about, pussies, and we may just refer to the cat that walked on stage randomly, but we may also, refer to lipstick and stuff and hats because we're girls
and hats.
we talk about things differently, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
It's just a different vibe, and
It is.
It's a different form of chaos.
It's a different form of. That's a perfect thing.
love-
That's something else we almost need on a T-shirt. A different form of chaos. But
Yes. I love hanging out with the guys, and that Booker's tasting that I went to. I was the only girl there.
No.
There was like maybe 11 of us total, including the host. I was the only girl there. And it was great. It's fun to be like, yeah, well, guess what I know, and whatever. But it's just a completely different vibe hanging out with girls and talking about whiskey with girls and
Yeah.
Just in general hanging out because we're not here to be serious. We're here to have fun. We're here to have fun. You got two whiskey somms who don't care about giving you tasting notes right now. Fun.
Oh, by the way, total girly thing. Like
I remember those.
The banana clip. I'm like, apparently these are a thing again, and I love them because they make my hair look like a mane going down the back, but putting them in is a total pain in the ass. Sorry,
I remember
get all
those.
girly here.
I totally had those when I was a kid.
They're a thing again. They're totally a thing.
A lot of things are a
Apparently.
thing again.
Yeah.
A lot of things are
Everything is
coming
a thing
back.
again. Because, throwback to the 80s/90s ish.
It was only 10 years ago. I don't know what you're throwing back.
It was just yesterday.
Seriously, that's what it feels like.
I know. We've been over this. So, yeah,
Back in the
it's
day.
me and lipstick and banana clips.
Banana clips. So Teresa, we've kind of
Yes.
talked about what's going on. What's going on with you?
So, for the introverts out there, people who maybe don't like the whole like video thing, because I totally hate it. In case
She
you
only
haven't
does it for
noticed.
us.
I only do it for y'all. Yeah, no, for everybody else, I'm on Instagram, so and Facebook, but 90 I share from Instagram to Facebook, so don't worry about duplicating your content. At Canadian Whiskey Smith, because it's in my name.
I'm trying to find your link here. Canadian Whiskey Smith. Share.
Oh, did I post the? I forgot to post
Forgot to post what?
Anyway,
the Rock Art review link. I don't know if somebody else did.
anyways, Canadian Whiskey Smith on Instagram, because pictures are life, and words also, but pictures.
Yeah, I can't post it on my phone because I'm signed into my phone as my personal, and I am not a moderator on Whiskey List as my personal.
Instagram.
So, yeah, Teresa's gonna drop that if you want to follow Teresa.
Canadian.
I think.
This is probably just gonna like totally just tag me, but anyways, I'm also on YouTube. I just don't post content.
Steve A
on
just
YouTube.
dropped Rock Gut Review.
A saint.
There's Canadian Whiskey Smith if you want to follow Teresa. We're at the Whiskey Crusaders.
Instagram, not Instagram. Sorry, typo. An hour and a half of drinking bourbon.
Instagram. You can catch her over there.
Ram.
I'm over on the Whiskey Crusaders, and be sure to check out the collection that the Rock Gut Review has. It's good stuff. And
Again, so much nipple from
so much nipple.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Steve's the man.
Male.
Steve's the man. He is the ultimate moderator. We love Steve.
Yeah.
And I think we're good to end on that.
Yeah. Cheers to Steve A.
Cheers to Steve. Cheers to everybody.
Oh fuck! I keep almost losing my hat.
Yeah, Teresa's dropping the F-bombs. It's time to go.
This is no longer safe for work on a Sunday. So,
all right. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Look for us again next month at the last Sunday of the month. Until next time, keep on drinking your whiskey, man.
Happy Kentucky Derby. Cheers to the horses.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, y'all.